She's just warehouse staff. Don't even dream of touching that jet." An officer laughed, glancing at the gray-haired woman cleaning the engine. Nobody remembered. She once commanded the legendary Jet Squadron 7, and that day, when the alarm bells rang, every pilot was trapped. She walked into the cockpit, alone. Evelyn Knight, 58 years old, gray hair, small frame, fuel technician at Shepherd Air Force Base. For 8 long years, she arrived earlier than everyone else, wiping down every jet wing, checking every landing gear, sweeping the hangar floors, never complained, never took a sick day. She hadn't touched a single cockpit since her technical discharge. That's what they called her sudden disappearance from the squadron. The young pilots had a nickname for her, Aunt Jet. More mocking than friendly. They laughed when she mentioned fuel reaction speeds. They dismissed every mechanical adjustment she suggested. "You think you're commanding an SR-71? We have software now, thanks." Even the flight commander, Lieutenant Colonel Bricker, would snap, "Ms. Knight, you're hired to clean compartments, not give technical lectures." The breaking point came when Evelyn discovered corrosion signs in the fuel pipeline. She recommended stopping maintenance for a safety inspection. Bricker refused, called it baseless concerns from someone who's been grounded for over 10 years. That evening, Evelyn left a small metal box in the corner near the SR-71 under restoration. Inside, an old flight map, a pilot badge reading Night 07, hand-drawn flight patterns. Nobody looked twice. The young pilots kept joking. "Aunt Jet thinks she's still flying missions." But Kevin, a fresh engineering lieutenant, noticed something different about her. The way she checked wing flaps with a small mirror and homemade listening device. The precision in her movements. "How do you know how to use these old measurement tools, Vantinum? Shonim?" he asked. Evelyn just smiled. "When radar fails, your ears keep you alive." That night, Kevin searched Evelyn Knight in the veteran pilot database. The results shocked him. Night 07, Tactical Jet Squadron 7, specialized in no-light zone reconnaissance missions. Syria 2005, North Africa 2009. A photo appeared, Evelyn standing beside an SR-71 Blackbird with the Night 07 emblem painted on the wing. Kevin printed the photo and showed Commander Bricker. Bricker brushed it off. "Old data. Anyone could have been a hero once. Now she's not qualified to fly?" But Kevin had seen enough. He started watching Evelyn more carefully. CTA Act 1. Ever seen someone capable being underestimated? Type SOUNFAIR. Rumors started spreading. Evelyn had blown a pressure chamber on her final mission. Some said she resigned due to urgent orders from above. Others claimed she was grounded for disobeying commands. Most believed she'd damaged the jet propulsion system, which led to her demotion to fuel storage. Nobody bothered to verify the truth, and Evelyn never explained herself. She just kept working, quietly, methodically. One day, Kevin accidentally discovered a leaked video on the internal network. Evelyn, in 2010, piloting an SR-71 through a radar wave deviation of 0.2 seconds to avoid ground artillery. It was the final survival mission of the entire squadron. The video was deleted after 1 hour, but Kevin had saved it. The footage showed something extraordinary. Evelyn wasn't just flying, she was dancing with death at Mach 3. Every movement calculated, every turn precise. Kevin confronted her the next morning. "You saved 7 pilots in that mission, didn't you?" Evelyn paused, her hand still on the fuel gauge. "Sometimes saving people means they never know you saved them. Why don't you tell them who you really are?" "Because," she said, adjusting a bolt with surgical precision, "heroes don't need recognition. They need readiness." Kevin didn't understand then, but he kept watching. He noticed how Evelyn's eyes tracked every jet taking off, how she unconsciously calculated wind speeds and fuel consumption, how her fingers moved like she was still gripping flight controls. Late one evening, Kevin found classified mission reports from 2005. Squadron 7 had been deployed to extract intelligence from hostile territory. The mission went wrong. Enemy fire. Multiple aircraft down. Except one. Night 07 had flown through a missile storm, rescued 3 downed pilots, and delivered critical intelligence that prevented a larger conflict. The mission was classified. The pilots saved never knew who rescued them. Evelyn had been recommended for the Medal of Honor, but she'd declined, asked for her record to be sealed instead. Some missions, her final report read, are best forgotten by everyone except those who lived them. Kevin finally understood. Evelyn wasn't hiding from glory. She was protecting it. The young pilot still mocked her, called her the janitor who thinks she's Top Gun. They had no idea they were insulting a legend, but Kevin started defending her. Maybe we should listen when she suggests improvements. She's been grounded for years, another pilot scoffed. What could she possibly know about modern aircraft? Everything, Kevin thought. She knows everything. One morning, Evelyn pulled Kevin aside. There's something you should know about the fuel system integrity. I've been monitoring stress fractures for months. She showed him detailed hand-drawn diagrams, calculations done without computers, analysis that would take their software hours to compute. How did you experience, she said quietly, and the understanding that machines don't lie? People do. Kevin stared at the diagrams. They were more detailed than anything their engineering team had produced. You need to show this to command. Evelyn shook her head. They won't listen, not until they have to. She was right. Kevin presented the analysis to Bricker, crediting Evelyn's work. Bricker dismissed it immediately. We don't take technical advice from cleaning staff. 3 days later, everything changed. CTA Act 2. If you've ever misjudged someone, type, I was wrong. The cyber attack hit Shepherd Air Force Base at 0300 hours. Advanced malware. Complete system shutdown. Radar, down. Runway control, down. Flight command, down. Every pilot's access card was locked out. The biometric system crashed from the virus. Only one aircraft remained operational, the SR-71 under restoration, but it required manual startup codes. Bricker and his engineering team panicked. Nobody knew how to start the jet propulsion system manually. Modern pilots trained on computers, not mechanical systems. As chaos erupted in the command center, Evelyn quietly walked toward the hangar. She wore her standard maintenance uniform, but something was different. Around her neck hung a small pendant. She opened it, revealing a manual startup key hidden inside. The SR-71 screens flickered to life. A voice echoed through the cockpit. Pilot identified, Night 07. Welcome back, Major. The entire control room fell silent. Bricker shouted, Who authorized this? She's not cleared for flight. Kevin stepped forward. Sir, nobody else knows how to operate this aircraft. And right now, nobody else can fly. Through the hangar speakers, they heard the SR-71's engines roar to life. Evelyn's voice crackled over the radio. Tower! This is Night 07 requesting emergency clearance. Night 07, you are not authorized. Tower! Her voice cut through, steady and commanding. I'm the only pilot available, and this base is under attack. Are you going to let protocol kill us all? Silence. Then, Night 07, you are cleared for takeoff. The SR-71 lifted off the runway like a ghost returning to life. Evelyn flew the patterns she'd memorized 18 years ago, around the false signal stations, through the electromagnetic interference, following hand-drawn maps she'd created from memory. She traced the source of the cyber attack, located the hackers controlling the signal jamming. Then she did something impossible. She flew the SR-71 in a reverse signal pattern, creating a feedback loop that crashed the attacker's entire network. The base systems came back online. When the SR-71 landed, the entire base stood at attention. A UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter descended. From it stepped 4-star General Brannon, the same man who'd commanded the 2005 Syria mission. He saluted formally, addressing the entire unit. She didn't just save me from Syria. Today, she saved the homeland she's been quietly serving for 8 years. Bricker bowed his head in silence. Kevin wiped tears from his eyes. Evelyn said nothing. She simply removed her gloves, handed back the keys, and walked toward the equipment room. But General Brannon called out, Major Knight. She stopped, not turning around. Your country owes you a debt that can never be repaid. Evelyn finally turned. Her voice was quiet but clear. I didn't fly for the country, General. I flew for the people who believed in me when nobody else would. She looked at Kevin. Sometimes one person's faith is worth more than 1,000 medals. The hangar erupted in applause. For the first time in 8 years, Evelyn Knight smiled. CTA Act 3. If someone once helped you and you never thanked them, type, I owe them. Evelyn declined every interview request, every award ceremony invitation. She wrote one line by hand, don't honor me. Look more carefully at those being overlooked today. They might be the ones who save you tomorrow. In the aircraft hangar, the cadets printed a photo of her takeoff. They hung it next to the Knight 07 emblem. A group of female technicians named their team Phantom Knights, continuing Evelyn's spirit. Kevin, who'd been the first to believe in her, transferred to study old-generation engine manufacturing and maintenance. Evelyn kept working. But now, whenever she entered a room, the entire base stood up, not because of her rank, but because of her character. The young pilots who'd once mocked her now sought her advice. She taught them things no flight simulator could. How to read wind patterns without instruments. How to calculate fuel consumption by engine sound. How to navigate by stars when GPS fails. Most importantly, she taught them humility. The moment you think you know everything, she told them, is the moment you become dangerous to everyone around you. 6 months later, Kevin was promoted to Chief of Aircraft Maintenance. His first order was to create the Knight Protocol, a system where experienced personnel, regardless of current rank, could provide technical input without judgment. Evelyn never flew again. She didn't need to. Every young pilot who graduated from Shepherd carried part of her legacy. They learned that true strength isn't about commanding respect, it's about earning it through service. One evening, as Evelyn finished her shift, she found a note tucked under her toolbox. To the woman who taught us that heroes don't always wear wings, they sometimes carry wrenches. The next generation. She folded the note carefully and placed it in her pendant, next to the old startup key. Some stories end with fanfare. Others end with quiet dignity. Evelyn Knight chose dignity, and in doing so, she became more legendary than any medal could make her. CTA Act 4. Type, I will live kindly if you believe every quiet person deserves recognition. Evelyn didn't fly for glory. She didn't need certificates or ceremonies. She just needed a cockpit and trust. There are people around us, former legends, pushed into shadows by time and prejudice. They don't shout about their past. They don't demand credit. They wait for the right moment to do the right thing. Again, today's story is a reminder. Honor doesn't come from where you stand, but from whether you step up when nobody else will. Live quietly, but never forget you can take flight anytime. The most powerful people are often the most underestimated. The janitor might be a former CEO. The librarian might be a former professor. The mechanic might be a former pilot. Treat everyone with respect, not because of what they do now, but because of what they might have done, what they might still do. Heroes don't always announce themselves. Sometimes they just show up when you need them most.